Do you want to know why China banned religion? First of all, it's not banned. But there's narrative, and people assume religion is banned in China because people don't understand why some religion are frowned upon.
I find it so interesting that when I tell people I'm Muslim and I'm Chinese, they genuinely get so shocked.
Hello amazing viewer, excited to have you once more at Comfort for Life. I bring to you compilations of TikTok and Red Knot videos for educational purposes. You're new here, why don't you smash that subscribe button? And to my returning viewers, I really love and appreciate you.
There's no religion in China? Actually there is, and people still practice, give offerings to Buddha. Here on the top of the mountain we have this altar where people leave flowers, but also you can leave donations by paying with the QR code, because China is a cashless society and Buddha would appreciate if you leave something even in an electronic way. Transfer a little bit money, because you know, it's a good thing to do. Scan the code. Here we have WeChat, Alipay not supported, so WeChat is more Buddha friendly. And yeah, you can leave offerings. I'm not saying we don't do it in the West. You can pay with the card to leave donations, mega churches, you know it. I'm just saying China uses QR codes. So it's a little bit step further ahead than the West when it comes to religious offerings, I guess. But I may be wrong.
To put it simply, all religion, doesn't matter, Muslim, Christian, you name it, Buddhism, whatever, they're all okay to operate and have their temples and all that in China. What the government doesn't like is when they become mega churches. If you know, you know. Essentially, people abuse their power and also their influence on its own people in a cult, right? And it's a cult. Like, let's be honest, a really good religion is a really good cult. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that if the cult is for the greater goods, like good for the people, good for the community, good for all. Nothing wrong with that. It's the weird ones when they become a little bit creepy and culty. They start to influence not just the people who believe in religion, but also companies, governments, you name it. They start to really, basically, there's a phrase in Chinese called 走火入魔. It literally means like when you have like too much, you're too culty, too religious, you become evil. Like you're like, I'm God, but maybe you're the devil. Anyways, now you know.
So guys, I went to a church right here in Shanghai, China yesterday, and I have filmed an entire video about it, but I just want to tell you guys a bit about my experience. It was such a crazy thing, just, you know, being in China, which is where my dad is from, but being in a place with, you know, believers. I was quite shocked, and I won't lie to you guys, like I felt sort of emotional being there, because obviously, you know, the faith is a sensitive topic in this country. So yeah, there is a video coming soon. I filmed the entire experience. I also interviewed the pastor as well while I was there, and so yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned for that video. I went to a church in China, but yeah, what an amazing experience. And I'll be in Shanghai for 2 more months, so hopefully I can check out some more as well.
Hey, so thanks so much for the question. I'll give you guys an update here in China. It's Thursday at 4 o'clock, and absolutely you can hold a Bible study in the park. Here's what the park looks like. You can sit in the grass, hang out with friends, have a Bible study. The only thing they prevent here in China is commercializing religion, so you couldn't have a big sign that says Jesus saves out there in the middle of the park, and you couldn't walk up to random strangers, try to convert them to your religion. That doesn't matter if you're Christian or a different religion. That just applies for them all. Anyways, guys, this is what it looks like. I'm here at the park, and hopefully this was helpful. Shows you a side of China you wouldn't otherwise see or hear. Cheers.
Sorry, can you ask me the question again? Is Confucianism a religion in China? Actually, it's really a great question. But firstly, the Confucianism didn't term the Confucius as a god. Yeah. Confucius was more focused on the real life, like how to improve yourself, how to carry a family, and how to create the social harmony. Yeah. There's no church, no religious leaders, no promise of being saved. Yeah. And secondly, the Confucianism was built on the moral awareness, rather than the divine command. So, for example, when the Confucius said, don't do to others what you don't want done to yourselves. And so it's not a message from the God. It's more like the call to inner responsibility. Every time when Chinese people go to the Confucius temple, we're not go there to ask the miracles. We go there to remember the values, to honor the teachers, to honor the tradition that he represents.
There are so many kind people in China. So I was in a city called Zhangye, and I just got off the train in a new city. It was like 35 degrees and I had to get a bike to my hotel. So I rented a cycle and was cycling on my way to the hotel. And then these two kids, like 9-year-olds, came up to me, yeah, and they were on their way to school, right? Bear in mind, they have school in like 20 minutes or something. And they were like, oh, do you need any help? And I'm like, no, I'm chilling. Like, obviously, these guys are young. I don't think anything too seriously of it, because I just assumed they're looking at a foreigner, like, oh, look, new guy. But after we were chatting for a bit, I found out he was Muslim. And then this guy was like, oh, let me give you money. He literally, this 9-year-old kid offered me money. He backed out money from his pocket. He was like, here, take it. And at first, I thought I couldn't understand them. Like, I thought my Chinese was so bad. And I thought they were asking me for money. I was like, nah. And then I clocked like he was trying to give me money. And I can't lie, I felt so bad because I thought he was trying to take money from me. Bear in mind, he's legit 9 years old. And I was 19 at the time and he's giving me money. Like, it might seem like something small, but it's just, I think it's mad. Like, lots of people say China's very dangerous and this and that, but I can't lie. There's just scammers, but that's in every country, innit?
What's even more interesting is that there are millions and millions of Muslims in China right now. Even an ancient Chinese emperor wrote a poem praising the Prophet ﷺ. But the way that Islam got to China is the most interesting fact. The Muslims and the Chinese have just been hustlers since like day one. This made China a hotspot for Muslim businessmen. They would come and trade their spices, their perfume, their textiles, and most importantly, their knowledge. But what really stood out to the Chinese was their character. Muslim businessmen were known to have honest ways, fair prices, you could trust them and they would never cheat you. Because of this character, a lot of Chinese accepted Islam, leading to one of the first Muslim Chinese populations. Fun fact, even the Mongol conquerors who went to Muslim land, majority of them accepted Islam after seeing how the Muslims conducted themselves. The Chinese government at the time also did not allow foreigners to bring in their wives. This led to many Muslim businessmen marrying Chinese wives. On top of that, the Muslims gave China a strategic advantage. At this time, China was under threat through the Mongols and the early Ming dynasty. The Muslims supplied China with doctors, engineers, weapons specialists, and translators. Another reason which propelled Islam in China was that Chinese culture has a lot of emphasis on heaven and the calendar. Islamic astronomers came in and fixed the Chinese calendar. This led to a lot of Chinese people believing that the heaven had approved of them. And right now in Guangzhou lies one of the oldest masjids in the world.
When I look at all these atrocities happening around the world that has to do with religion, especially religious extremism, I look at also China and the way they have been able to maintain this coexistence of religions. And I'm like, okay, is it also wrong to follow a system that works? Is it against international laws? And why are these countries where people are suffering because of religion, why are they not intentionally doing something about it? What the intention? What the idea behind people's suffering because of how they choose to worship and what they choose to believe in? Like, is religion not personal?
Why in China there's no religious wars and different religions can coexist peacefully? China has Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, and Christianity. They all coexist here. Why? I'm Leia, intercultural analyst in China. Let me explain 3 reasons. First, religion in China is not about converting others. Most Chinese treat religion as tradition and philosophy, so you won't see in China people marketing their religion beliefs door to door to others. Does this exist in your country? Second, Chinese philosophy, especially Confucianism, values harmony above all, so even imported religions slowly adapted to that local rules. Third, in many countries, political power and religion are tightly tied, fueling centuries of conflicts. But China separates religion from politics. Plus, once recognized, regulated religions operate openly, so extreme groups has little room to grow. So in many Chinese cities, you'll see a Buddhist temple, a mosque, and a church all within walking distance. Because in China, religion isn't about dividing people, it's another layer of culture. Harmony is the operating system here. How do you think this practice of China? I'm Leia, intercultural analyst, explaining how China, this mysterious country, really works. If you want to understand China, my channel is the best place for you to get started.
People used to criticize China's religious policies, saying we restrict freedom. But here's the truth. Believers can practice their faith freely. The government only monitors large gatherings and activities. Why? Because years ago, some extreme religious groups caused real social harm. Now look at the US, parts of the European Union, and many international reactions to extremist groups today. Suddenly, it doesn't look so different, right? China just recognized the problem earlier and acted earlier. So here's my question. When you've already seen what extreme groups can do, should the government step in early or wait until it's too late? Tell me what you think.
I cannot believe I have to stand in China with my Bible to show you guys that as a Christian, you're not going to be persecuted in China and that Christianity is completely legal here. So I was even told in the United States in church that we have to send missionaries to China and we have to fund these trips, and it's so important because, you know, you got to, all the things that we've all already heard. So as Christians, and all I want to point out is that's totally false. So you can be a Christian in China, you can go to the park and have a Bible study. I have the King James Version of my Bible here. It is not an issue whatsoever. And as I might be Christian, someone else might be Buddhist, someone else might be Muslim, someone else might be atheist. It doesn't matter. The rules here are very simple and very straightforward. Whatever your religion is, that's your religion. You live your life the way you want to with your religion and leave everybody else alone. Same with their religion. So I don't have any Muslim people approaching me trying to convert me to their religion. I don't have any Jehovah's Witnesses coming and knocking on my door to convert me to their religion. I don't have any Buddhists coming up to me and saying, hey, come with me to the temple and experience Buddhism. That's just not how it works here in China. It's very peaceful. It's set up that way. And in terms of international money, they do not want other countries coming in and financing their religion into China. So, and I think that makes perfect sense when you think about it. So turn on your brains for a second, guys. It's like, would you want as a country, somebody else, pick any country you want in the world, paying millions of dollars to bring their religion into your country? Your country might all be, let's just make it all Buddhist, okay? Do you want Muslims all coming in and bringing in Muslim culture and Muslim religion just for the sake of bringing it in? Converting your whole country to Muslims for Buddhism? It's going to frustrate your citizens. And if you just reverse it and do the exact same thing, you have an all Muslim country. Do you want Buddhists to pay millions of dollars to bring Buddhism into the Muslim country and then convert everyone who's Muslim? That's going to upset your population. So just let people live their life. And as a Christian, I was a Christian before I came to China. I'm still a Christian in China. It's not a big deal, and you're not going to be persecuted. So hopefully this is helpful, and I don't have to cover this again or show my Bible. I think it's kind of funny. In 2025, we still think that Christianity, which is one of the largest religions in China, is illegal. So hopefully this is helpful, and it shows you a side of China you wouldn't otherwise see or hear. Cheers.
So as I wind up this video, I want to ask this question to Christians. You're a Christian watching this video right now. What's your view on mega churches? How do you view them? Like for me, I still believe the Bible says go and make disciples. It's hard to maintain a large group of people. It's hard to manage them. And most of the time, the dramas that we hear that comes from Christianity comes from these mega churches. And yeah, I think, in my opinion, whatever China is doing right here is good. Go and make disciples. That's why you'll find that in countries where Christianity is kind of, let's say, suppressed, as we might think it is the places where there are large population of Christians. And those are the people who really practice true Christianity because they understand the depth of it. Thank you so much for being here. I love and appreciate your love and support. I hope this video was beneficial to you. Goodbye for now. Appreciate you.